Welcome back, everybody, to another fantastic fantasy football video. Today, I've got a special announcement. Repeat champion. Yes! Super Bowl repeat fantasy football champion. And you guys watched my tips for success of how to be a champion. I'll put the link in the description down below. You can actually go and watch that video right now. It's like 45 minutes long. I know it's a little longer than what people want to sit in a chair for, but nonetheless, I've got some tips for you guys. And today, I'm going to show you my lineup, show you my draft picks, and pretty much break down week by week. Let me tell you, folks, the numbers are huge. So, yeah, that Donald Trump impersonation was no joke. But yes, for a celebration, yes, that is correct. We're going to have a drink, and we're going to go over my lineup and how awesome it was. The season was amazing. No injuries, you know, nothing too spontaneous, nothing too dramatic. Fortunately for me, I had a pretty all-star team right off of draft day. And let's just say that I made some moves. It was some moves. Yeah, the waiver wire helped me out a little bit. But it's official. Repeat Super Bowl fantasy football champion. And we're going to go over my lineup. Okay, here it is. If you guys want, just really quick. No, you say, yeah, you can't see that. You can't see that. But, nonetheless, before we get started, I want to thank my sponsor, Crown Royal. And this is why you put your pinky up. Oh, yeah, give it a good stir. Give it a good stir. Best Christmas present I've ever had. Check this out. Is that not awesome? Can you see it? See, there's a 3D sketch. You see it? See it in the bottom of the glass? Is that awesome or what? That's amazing. So, we're going to go over my lineup. We're going to go over how the season went and where I made some mistakes that I'd like to attune and adjust that for next season as a three-peat. That's what I'm going for. That's what I'm going for. So, without further ado, we're going to start in the quarterback category. Who I went with. Who saved my season 2 seasons in a row. Drew Brees. Okay? Drew Brees. Picked him up in the 7th round. 7th round. And let me talk to you about some of the numbers that this guy's put up. Drew Brees has been consistent 2 or 3 years in a row now, and I know he tends to lose people championships, but for 2 years in a row, he carried me. Week 1, almost a 50 burger. There was, I think he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 30 burgers, and 5 of those are 40 burgers. He was chomping at the bits all season long. Drew Brees, thank you so much for a repeat season. Next goes up to David Johnson. Oh my God, what a season this guy had, right? What a season this guy had. I think it was 13 consecutive 100-yard rushing touchdowns. That deserves a drink right there. Spilling all over myself because I'm so excited. Pinky. So yes, David Johnson, he was my first round draft pick. And I want to go ahead and give you guys a heads up because I'm going to have a stacked team. And when I say stacked, I mean ridiculously stacked. And I'm talking about waiver wire moves too here. David Johnson was my first round draft pick. Now this was a keeper league. I have to first and foremost tell you that now. This was a keeper league. So last year, as champion, I kept Antonio Brown. Yes. So Antonio Brown, I already had him as a keeper from last year, so our first round draft pick was already nullified because everybody got to keep the OBJs and the Aaron Rodgers and, you know, et cetera, et cetera. So I have to keep Antonio Brown. So my wide receiver 1 was already taken care of. RB1, David Johnson actually won me my fantasy football season last year. I picked up David Johnson and Tim Hightower off the waiver wire in the first week of the playoffs. And thanks to David Johnson and Tim Hightower last year, I won that season. So essentially, I had a lot of confidence in David Johnson going into my second year. Now, how this draft order went, I think I had like sixth pick, and I ended up getting David Johnson because there's Ezekiel Elliott, Adrian Peterson. There's a lot of these running backs going all, not too much confidence in David Johnson quite yet, but I did. Thank you, David Johnson. Now, Le'Veon Bell. Okay, this guy scares the hell out of me. I mean, you can pretty much count on Le'Veon Bell to get you a 4-week suspension pretty much every year. I mean, he's in his off season. He can't. He has no self-control. Come on, man, you're a stud. Be a stud. So Le'Veon Bell, even though missing 4 games, he still had numbers as good as David Johnson. Pretty fucking impressive. So there's my RB1 and my RB2 and my QB1. Let's move on to the wide receiving position. Obviously, you know I've got Antonio Brown. Pinky up to AB's Special Brownies. Oh, that's a big drink. Thank you for my sponsor, Crown Royal. Now, you already know I had AB. Last season, I had a lot of hope, a lot of confidence for this receiver named Mike Evans. Yes, I ended up picking Mike Evans up on my second round draft pick. So I got David Johnson in my second round. Obviously, first round was the keeper, AB. So second round was David Johnson. Third round was Mike Evans. Mike Evans did not slow down. He was a top 3 wideout all season long. This rapport that him and Jameis Winston are developing keeps getting better. So Mike Evans will be a first-round draft pick next year. That's a crown burp right there. Those are the best. Now, moving on to the tight end position. I never really had a tight end. To be honest with you, I never really had a tight end. The tight end, I don't even remember what tight end I had, but I'll tell you what tight end I picked up off the waiver wire was Jordan Reed. Yes, I know in the first 2 or 3, 4 weeks, Jordan Reed was arguably one of the top tight ends in the league, but there was no development. And week out, and week out, and week out, and week out, he was really holding a lot of fantasy teams back. Well, fortunately, in my league, the guy who owned that guy that owned Jordan Reed ended up carrying me through at least 3 wins. And actually, the week he got dropped onto the waiver wire, I picked him up, and he ended up throwing me like 20 some odd points, like 3 touchdowns and 87 yards. I don't remember exactly what it was. One of the greatest, arguably the best waiver wire pickups I have ever made. All right, so my tight end was taken out. Now, here comes some waiver wire moves that I wanted to go over over some of these with you. For starters, Jordan Howard. Jordan Howard for the Chicago Bears, he's got the job. You guys need to be looking for him next year. You need to be looking for him. When you got last draft pick, there's going to be a Jordan Howard available. Pick his ass up. He is a feature back who will receive a hell of a workload in 2017. That's a flex play. Now, as far as the defense goes, I pick up the Cardinals defense every year, and arguably the Cardinals defense carried me the entire last season to a championship. This season, not so much. So I would stream in Baltimore or Miami. You know, those defenses really started looking pretty good, but unfortunately for the Cardinals defense, after Tyrann Mathieu went out at just the Badger, man, you can see how he kept that D together. And seeing him go out the way he did and seeing that defense essentially fall apart and become a waiver wire pickup, in this Super Bowl, I streamed the Chiefs defense. Yep. And they did me good. LeGarrette Blount, I would flop him and Jordan Howard out of the flex play based on matchups, but I would have to say that who's the better back, LeGarrette Blount or Jordan Howard? I'd have to say LeGarrette Blount. So LeGarrette Blount was never really considered a first round or even a second round draft pick. Well, that's all going to change next year. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. So be looking at the depth. The depth of next season is going to be so large. You could almost go into a 12-man fantasy league and still come out with a stacked team. The depth in the NFL right now is probably and arguably the best right now. It is absolutely the best right now. The depth as to everybody can get somebody good. Everybody can get somebody good. Now, as far as some waiver wire moves, I mean, I even picked up DeAndre, didn't play him. Doug Martin, didn't play him. Julian Edelman, I got him on draft day thinking he was going to be a great flex play against like a Tom Brady matchup. Actually, the guy I went up against had Tom Brady, and I still didn't need to play Julian Edelman. I think I played him 1 week, and that was early in the season. He threw me up a stinker, and he cost me a loss. Sucks, man. It sucks. So as far as the lineup goes, I was stacked. Mike Evans, Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell, David Mother and Johnson, Drew Brees, Jordan Howard, and LeGarrette Blount in the flex spot. It just absolutely stacked. Now, let's move on to my record. As a repeat Super Bowl champion, I'm not proud of this record, 9-4. I'm not very proud. I mean, obviously, I'm not proud at all. But let me tell you, the losses that I lost, these guys that I lost to, showed up to fucking, pardon my language, they showed up to play. They showed up to play. Week 1, I lost. Week 1, I lost. I threw up 150 points. 150! And this is standard. This is a standard league, no PPR. 150 in week 1. And mind you, that Drew Brees threw me up that near 50 burger, so, I mean, 100 of that, 50 of that's Drew. I lost by 3 points in week 1. So there's one loss. Moving on to week 2. It's another close one. I won 136 to 128. Very, very close one against Nate Dogg. Now, week 3, that was another loss. I threw up another 153 points. And here we go, Dustin, the guy just beat in the Super Bowl, Mr. D-Man, beats me. I mean, threw up 178 points. God damn, Tom Brady went off. Now, week 4, give me, 117 to 94. Week 5, another close loss, 143 to 149. Now you can see where my numbers are going. I'm averaging 130 to 150 on average. Stacked. Hashtag. Or whatever you want to call it. I think we need another drink. Now, moving on to week 7. It was a blowout against my favorite, Scotty B. I really wanted to play you more, man. I really wanted to play you more. Yeah, I know you never had a chance, but I really wanted to play you more. It just didn't work out. It just didn't work out. So that was I don't want to say a blowout. I don't want to say a blowout, but that was 142 to 98. Scott, he had some lack of performance from his players. It happens. It happens. You got away. You got Thursday night. Oh, speaking of Thursday night, do not ever play anybody on Thursday night. Ever. They will chump you. They will rob you of every fantasy dilemma that you've ever been in. Do not. I don't care. I don't care if you have an RB1 or a wide receiver 1. Do not play on Thursday night. It is a hex. It is a hex every time you play. Thursday night. Terrible. Moving on. Week 8. I got my ass kicked in week 8. Craig. Motherfucker Craig. 168. Craig threw up almost 170. And I put up a measly 103. What happened in that game? Let's see what happened here. Okay. So in week 8, Drew Brees threw me up 25 points. David Johnson threw me up a stinker, 24 yards, 10.8. What happened in week 8? I don't know. Kristen Michael, I streamed him in for another 10.2. Mike Evans threw me up a dud, 7 points. Oh, yeah, that's what it was. It was the Steelers' bye week. Week 8 was a tough week. I lost my Le'Veon, I lost my AB. So I had to stream in Doug Baldwin and Kristen Michael. But I still had LeGarrette Blount, my flex, and Jordan Reed threw me up 15.9. Jordan Reed had 99 yards and a touchdown in week 8. And I still lost. It's a shame. It's a shame. Craig, thanks for kicking my ass in week 8. Appreciate that. Week 9, it was a close one. Nate Dogg, I went up against you 3 times this season. Oh, it was great. 145 to 140. God, that was a close one. Thanks for the dub, my bro. Now, week 9 was Nate Dogg. Then week 10 was back to Dustin. Back to the Super Bowl contender. I blew him out of the water. 148 to 91. 148 to 91. No, you guys haven't seen nothing yet. I'm building it up, right? I'm building up to the biggest blowout in NFL fantasy football history. In week 11, I got another one. Easy. Come on, man. I don't think you showed up at all this season. I don't know where you were. But yeah, in week 11, 141 to 90. That was another big game right there. Now here it is, week 12 against Mike Olson. Exactly 100-point difference. Yes, folks, I almost hit 200 points. I ended up with 195. Now here's the thing. Check it out. It was all LeGarrette Blount's fault. Man. Check it out. Had stacked everybody. Drew Brees, 46 points. David Johnson, 25 points. Le'Veon Bell, 23 points. Antonio Brown, 28 points. Mike Evans, 25 points. Jordan Reed, 22 points. LeGarrette Blount, 6. Dolphins defense, 16 points. My kicker threw up 9 points. LeGarrette Blount, man, you cost me a 200-point game. That would be a milestone in my fantasy football 3-peat career. And it was all because of you. Pinky up. Really wanted that. Really wanted 200 points. But I'll take an exactly 195 to 95, 100-point blowout. And I'll take it generously, too. Thank you. Thank you, Mike. All right. So to round out the season, we've got week 13, 124 to 93 against... And I'll have to say, Pete, you got the best... You should get a side bet for the best fantasy football team. He had Odell Beckham Jr. So his team name was OBJYN. Fucking, that's the greatest fucking, it's great. All right, so at 9-4, I got a first round bye week. Thank you. Here's another one right there. Round 2, I went up against Nate Dogg. He's been this is 4 times. Did I go up against you 4? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's just 3. 2 during the season and second week of playoffs. I took you on. Yeah, I kicked your ass, Nate. I kicked your ass, man. It was a 156 to 95. You didn't stand a chance. I'm sorry. I sent you packet, dude. Get out of here. Welcome to the Super Bowl. Back to Dustin. God dang, man. Look at this guy. I went up against this guy 1, 2, 3 times as well. Him and Nathan both. Him and I met in the Super Bowl. And I ended up inevitably winning with 165 points to 120. Now, he could have beat me. He could have beat me. Actually, yeah, he could have. He played Lamar Miller. He threw up a zero burger, man. I think Lamar Miller single-handedly ruined like 60% of fantasy football leagues. I don't know if there was, I don't know what happened there, but either way, I got it. That's another thing. Who did he have? Wakees, that's what it was, yeah. Jaquez Rogers. But yeah, nonetheless, ended up knocking out the Super Bowl, put that final nail in the coffin. And now we're going to wrap up this video with tips and advice and things you guys need to know, man. These are, after every season, you need to pay attention to some of these up-and-comers. And with the depth that next season's going to be, it's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be phenomenal. I'm going to get in a couple of 12-man leagues, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm really looking forward to annihilating this league again next year. And I can go ahead and announce right now that we will have a fantasy football trophy. Everybody in my league right now, everybody that's watching, we're going to have a trophy this tall, all right? And it's going to be made at the DuBois Wood Products, and it's going to be like coated, like 10 coats of lacquer, man. It's going to be beautiful. I'll have that at the draft next year. So if you guys made it this far in the video, you'll be pleased to learn that, yeah, there's going to be a fantasy football trophy, and I'm going to hang on to it for another year. And I'm going to get like 4 sides, all 4 sides, with just inscribed with plaques, and of course, mine's on 2 of them. Boom! There it is, folks. I mean, I put out the video at the beginning of the season. The link is right here. Go watch it. All the naysayers out there, all of you guys, all the dislikes, you're not a repeat champion. If you enjoyed today's video, please hit the indicator of the upward thumb. I would greatly appreciate it. And until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace!